can you speak a little bit about the challenge of security out at the edge?
Yeah, that's a good one. In that there's a lot that goes on from an IT perspective. Sometimes I think there's no way I'd want to do that job. It's a lot of pressure to figure out how do you protect your systems from bad things happening. And I
Hmm.
mean, it's really impossible. Think about it. There's billion-dollar companies that have outages and they have cyber attacks that they deal with. One way that we find customers worried about security, particularly at the edge, is that they have a new concern, which is they don't have physical security that you have in a data center or even an office. Edge locations can be a lot of customers there. They can be factories. They can be unsecure places where disk drives can disappear, a whole server can be stolen, etc. So what we find is the lowest common denominator that we're hearing is I need to encrypt my data at the edge. And there's a lot of technologies that can do it. We can talk about StorMagic later, but encrypting data at the edge has become very, very important.
Okay, great
And
answer,
I
Bruce.
I
Yeah,
want to add
please,
on to
Ken. No,
that
go ahead.
in terms of security things, but also as a from an IT perspective, how did a big exposure is around hardware and software that has not been patched. I mean, the main reason for patches coming out is to address security issues, but I've got hundreds of sites, even 10 or 11 sites, but I've got all these sites out there. How do I deploy those patches to keep that infrastructure up to date against these known vulnerabilities? I keep seeing these reports of, yes, this was fixed 18 months ago,
Right.
says the provider, but the patch wasn't rolled out. How do I get that out there if I'm managing these locations?
That's a great point. Think about it. If you're in a data center environment and you have hundreds of servers, there are skilled IT technicians. That's their job. When you're at the edge, you can have hundreds. We have customers that have thousands of sites, and maintaining and updating firmware and software is really hard. And that's where the whole centralized management comes in and tools. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a bigger problem at the edge than in the data center for sure.
And of course, then you have to have some kind of monitoring and reporting in place so that your folks that can resolve issues know that issues are occurring. But those are all challenges about again managing lots and lots of locations.